Now, as we complete the journey of the Siddur, we smell sweet spices to bring ourselves back into this world. On our way up in the Siddur, after we said the blessings of the morning, we said the sacrifices which were intended to elicit in us a yearning and a longing for the infinite, in which we're ready to dissolve ourselves into the oneness. Well, now, on our way back down into the world, we return to the world of sacrifices, but this time, instead of it being the animal sacrifices brought on the altar, it's the incense, the spices that are brought, the Ketoret, the mix of 11 different types of spices, which we are meant to smell in order to re-embody ourselves as we step out into the physical life. And it's something like at the end of Shabbat, where after we've had an elated time, especially during the third meal, now we take the sweet spices at the end of Shabbat to bring ourselves back into the world. So that's what's happening here, and it's actually a very powerful moment. And if we spend a few moments now contemplating a bit of what those 11 spices of the Ketoret are, we'll get a better sense of how it is that we're brought back into life. You see, among those 11 spices, there's something which is called the chelbena, which has a peculiar and somewhat distasteful smell. That's why there are 11. 10, like the 10 Commandments, or the 10 words which were spoken to create the world, has to do with sanctity. But the 11th is always something which is kind of an outlier. Well, that's this distasteful smell, which is actually meant to awaken us a sense that we need to be able to experience the entire breadth of life in order for us to step out into the physical living. Because whereas during the time of prayer we've been attaching ourselves to these high ideals and the divine aspiration, when we go out into the world we need to face all kinds of things. But the rabbis, they actually say about that kind of distasteful, so to speak, smell, when they talk about how at the end of creation, God said that everything was very good. So the rabbis ask about that. I mean, why very good? Up until now, everything's been good. Now what's very good? So in the simple meaning, it has to do with, well, now there's an entire picture of what creation is, so that's very good. But still they insist it can't be that, like, it's just, some added level by virtue of the whole, unless somehow the whole is including something which wasn't really there before. And their answer is, it has to do with the evil inclination. What is this yetzer hara, or this evil inclination? You see, in English, the word ra gets translated in a moralistic sense of evil, but in Hebrew, ra really simply means kind of a disconnection, a separation, a setting apart. You see, life really is about unity and the preservation of our difference. And that me'od, which becomes overt when God looks at the entirety of creation, becomes overt because, well, that's the point when you become aware of the fact that there is a whole which you're participating in, and there's also the different parts of which you're one. And now the question becomes, am I going to be simply about making my own life the thing which is paramount and outstanding? Or am I going to be expressing my life in its uniqueness as part of the great fabric of the all? If I separate myself out, so then that becomes moral evil. But if I include my passion for my individuation and creativity, so then it becomes mixed in with all of the spices together and creates this great palette of smell, this great symphony of sounds, which is the entirety of creation, about which God says it's tov me'od. It's got an extra level in which there's an interconnection between the individual and the whole. So after that heightened kind of a way of seeing things, I think now we can understand why it would be this particular group of smells that we're going to be smelling as we leave the prayer service. And by the way, it's actually a good idea to take something to smell at this point in the davening, in the Siddur service, because here is where we really begin now, as we've been moving down in the descent through the different matriarchs, coming down, if you remember, through Sarai, and then into the idea in general of a woman giving birth. And then we moved into the world of Leah and the possibility of bringing this into an expression as children, which are able to see the different vantage points of life. And then we moved into Rachel, who was this song of the day. Well, now we're in the world of Rivka, the wife of Yitzchak, who was the patriarch of the sacrificial service. Now we're with Rivka. You know, Rivka's name actually means the harness that bonds together. And Rivka was really about being able to bring together, in a way which Yitzchak was not able to envision, both the powers of Yaakov and the powers of Esav. I know it might not look that way in the story because she gives such a primacy to Yaakov, but if you read carefully, and in my book I spell this out even more, if you read carefully, you'll see she's repeatedly referred to as the mother both of Yaakov and Esav. She's both the mother of the drive towards unity, which is that of Jacob, and the drive towards individuation and power in this world, which is that of Esav. And we're really meant to hold both of those, so that after we've experienced the great heightened experience of our attachment to and our elation into the divine world, now when we come down into this life with all of its separateness, individuation, yes, ra, but not in necessarily the sense of evil on the moral level, but on the sense of differentiation and difference. So now we're really hoping and praying and breathing in the incense spice to recognize that it's all of these different levels of ourselves which need to be interconnected and intertwined. And really, I think the two models for that kind of interpenetration of difference into a whole are music and the harmonization of all, which was the beautiful accompaniment to all of the sacrificial service. And here specifically, the Ketoret with its 11 different smells, which bond us together, with the 10 which are the unification of different parts, and the 11th which seems to be that which is lying outside, but here is welcomed in a way in which now, if we prepare ourselves properly, we're able to align ourselves in a way in which we can step out into life and do the things we need to do in this physical world, but maintaining a consciousness of the interconnected harmony of all. So yeah, now when you're going to be going out and you're going to be doing work, and it's going to be involving competition, it's going to be involving specific expression, it's going to be involving making sure that you are able to get what it is that you're meant to get. It's going to be involved in you delineating the different aspects of what it is that you're meant to bring, and also respecting that which others bring. When you're able now to step out after all of these prayers in a way in which you're able to hold both that drive and the awareness of the whole together, that's the power of the Ketoret. It's so life-giving. It's so reinvigorating. And it really is the most magical moment if you're able to take the time with this kind of contemplation. And as I say again, even physically smell something here. To sit for a moment and recognize how all of life harmonizes together. I invite you to join me in a meditation now on that Ketoret. For this meditation of the Ketoret, prepare yourself something you enjoy smelling, so that towards the end of the meditation you'll be able to lift it and smell its fragrance. If you're Torah observant, now would be the time before we begin the meditation to make the appropriate blessing and take a smell. It is fragrance which brings us back into our embodiment after a heightened experience that prayer has taken us towards. And so let us begin this meditation that aligns with the section of the Siddur of the Ketoret. Find yourself a comfortable place to sit. Allow yourself to begin to calm and appreciate the simple presence of your body here, now, in this place, Makom. Remind yourself, or perhaps even say the verse, Hine Makom Iti, the divine words which pronounce us as always having place with Hashem. As we settle into this place, we say, Hine Makom Iti. Feel your body as its weight settles in. You feel its pressure against the chair or whatever you're sitting on. Take a deep breath in through your nose, allowing your body to fill with the calm that induces. And slowly let it out through your mouth. Take another healing and calming breath in. This time also sending a message to your shoulders, your back, your thighs to relax. Hold the breath inside. And now slowly release again as all tension leaves your body. Allow a space to open up inside your feet, inside your hands, in the area of your heart and chest, a broadening, an expansion. Invite that space to open up between your eyes, allowing a calm to now come over your eyes and forehead. Invite your body now to experience just the calm goodness of this presence. Feel thanks for that. Sense how beautiful light now shines down towards you, entering the top of your head. A warm column of light that is filled with love, compassion, gratitude. Filtering down through the top of your head into your mind, your throat, your body, all the way down to your feet. Intensify that glow as it flows down into you from above. As your heart opens and you become more and more available to love. Sense the beautiful separateness of your particular body right now as you take note of its boundaries that extend from the top of your head, and we follow them down the right side, past the ear, jaw, neck, across the shoulder, arm, waist, thigh, calf, and foot. And now down the left side, past the ear, the jaw, the neck, the shoulder, arm, waist, thigh, calf, foot. Sense it in front and in back also as you appreciate the separateness which is yours. Intensify your appreciation of being you by recalling an event in which you really did something special. You felt special to someone. You did something that you knew was a unique expression of who you are. And just sit in that with appreciation for a few moments. Now begin to see you as part of a greater whole, as you sense how around you is the air, the space, many objects, many other creatures, many other people, and you allow your consciousness to rise upwards as this perspective expands and you move higher and able to see the whole, moving away and watching the expanse. And now I invite you to reach out and take the spices you've chosen and slowly move them towards your nose, to breathe in the beautiful smell. As you breathe it in, feel the invigoration of your particular presence. And as it merges with the source of the smell outside you, sensing the mix of the fragrances as a mix of separateness and oneness. You and your presence, and you as participant in the all. Just breathe that in deeply a few times. Letting the smells invite your inner world of soul and life force to be awakened and connected to your body, and your body to what is beyond you here in this place. And in all places. Feel the love of the divine as Hashem himself appreciates your life and its participation in all. And now awaken a desire and commitment to bring of your uniqueness to Hashem's creation in the service of the entirety through the particular devotion of your unique person. Feel how those combine and are indeed one. Now return the object that has the smell back down. Raise your arms as if you're embracing. Spread them broad, as if they're holding all together with you in an embrace of love. Let your heart be filled with that joy. The love, the harmony and connection. And pray you be guided by the one who desires you, as your scent itself arises to meet the love and joy of your Creator. Let this be your path today.